Hi, this is Robert Clinky-Beard with the Commercial Landscaper Podcast. We're going to take 20 minutes to deliver some amazing content from accomplished leaders and business owners to provide you with some value to scale your business and to become a better leader and push yourself out of your comfort zone. We encourage you to like and share with everyone to spread our messages. I'm super excited to announce our new partnership with Weathermatic. For most landscape companies, irrigation is an untapped gold mine for growth and profit, but labor and process problems stand in the way. So Weathermatic has created a partnership to package mobile technology and software with proven business solutions to tackle the perennial irrigation challenges and take your operations to a whole new level. I encourage you to reach out to Weathermatic and learn more. Cheers, everyone. Hi, this is Robert Clinky-Beard with the Commercial Landscaper Podcast. I'm really excited to be joined here by Bruce Moore. Bruce, really excited to get you on the show.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Robert, for having me.
No problem. So, Bruce, I know we've known each other for a long time, but there's a lot in the audience here, throughout the world. Who is Bruce Jr.? Where are you from? Your company? Give us a little bit about your background, please.
Sure. So I am with Eastern Land Management. We're headquartered in Stamford, Connecticut. And so we serve the Metro New York and Connecticut areas. The landscape and snow industry is pretty much all I know. I've taken over the business from my father, Bruce, and he started the business in 1976. And ever since I was much younger, I was involved with the business, working in the field on up to a management role, and now, running and owning the business myself. So good and bad is this is all I know. So been at it full time for just about 20 years now.
So you probably have seen a lot of changes in those 20 years. I mean, the industry's evolved a lot. There's new innovation, there's battery powered stuff. There's, I call it the Amazon effect, where, people almost expect instant answers and you to respond in, immediately. Talk through just some of the, the things you've seen recently. I mean, I just offline, I know we were talking about, commercial real estate. You hear stories in the news, from, bloodbaths in San Francisco to New York, some of those big cities. What sort of things are you seeing within your market?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, so something I didn't mention earlier, we just focus on the commercial sector. We don't do any residential work. So, since the pandemic hit in 2020, it was concerning for us, being that was really our bread and butter for servicing commercial office buildings and those alike. And, it's been an interesting run since COVID, being that, of course, on the headlines, like you said, buildings becoming foreclosed or giving them back to the lenders, just because, the occupancy is not there and the need for office space has really dwindled. Some of the areas that I think we've really capitalized on and we've worked hard with our clients is, making sure that those Class A buildings remain Class A. We just had a meeting this morning with a client, and they've spent millions on their property, enhancing it to make sure that the amenities, the aesthetics, the curb appeal are all top notch. And so the higher end Class A buildings seem to be maintaining and doing, very well. It's those other classes and other segments that, are going to have trouble, staying occupied and staying afloat, if you will. And probably, at the end of the day, will get repurposed, into something else.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, I do remember well, being in Phoenix, 2008, 2011, we were hit pretty hard. We did, primarily, high-end Class A, Class B type office buildings. It was pretty challenging at that time. You really had to work with your clients. And I recently did some account management training. One of the big messages I put across to the company I was training was, rather than wait till the client comes to you, what can you do to actually be proactive and try and work with them, try and understand some of the challenges the client's facing, so you can adapt to their needs. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, proactivity is always, number one, right? You want to be ahead of your client, right? And be the eyes of your client. And so, one of the main things is you have to have a client that has a want and a vision and a need. to have the and create the space that they need to maintain to be a Class A building. And so, there's certain clients out there that are prominently placed, whether it's in a central business district, by a train station, in a vibrant area that, is going to do well just because the population and the workforce is there. Those are the clients that are really investing, or I should say reinvesting, in their buildings, making sure that, we're doing a lot of outdoor conference spaces and public seating areas, activity spaces like bocce courts and putting greens and things like that. And so I think the pandemic really forced, obviously people outside, but also outdoor collaboration, right? So, having companies having the ability to have their employees outside, collaborating and discussing things in an environment that's outdoors, but able to be interactive for everyone. So we've done a lot in that space, like I said, with those clients that are willing to make that reinvestment and want to stay focused on maintaining their occupancy.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I love your idea about the bocce courts or some of the other outdoor stuff. Now that ties nicely into, if you are having more of those tenants, inside, outside of the buildings, then obviously you have to be more conscious about, how you operate, how you go in and do the maintenance here, rather than going in and using gas powered blowers, machines. I mean, how are you having to adapt there? And is that drive coming from your clients' needs, or are you just recognizing, trying to figure out that balance between the two?
That's a great question. I think it's a combination of both. I think we as a business have a commitment and a vision to become more sustainable, right? We want to be able to do the right thing for the environment. And also it is client driven. In our market, there's a lot of financial services businesses based in our area. And we do come up against a lot of noise constraint with, in meeting space, trading floors. We really have to be careful and mindful of not being disruptive to those spaces. And furthermore, even in our market, there's a lot of rooftop, urban, work. And so, we're going in through lobbies, freight elevators, tenant spaces. And so, we need to be obviously clean and have the least amount of equipment as least intrusive as possible, right? So that has forced us to look into battery equipment. And, as you said, the industry has changed in my tenure. The battery equipment has been around for a little while, but it's really evolved, over the last 5 years. And, we've made a commitment to continue testing it and utilizing it. We've aligned ourselves with some suppliers to focus on their equipment. And, we're going to have several battery crews out, this year. Some of it is client driven, as I mentioned. We have some Fortune 500 companies that have ESG goals in place that, we're partnering with them to help them meet those goals. And so we're going all electric and all battery with them. And then there's some that we're just making the decision on, as I mentioned, in some of that urban space, right? That we need to get up to the rooftop, in an apartment building, and just noise is an issue, and not bringing fuel through the building in the lobby and in the elevator is a huge selling point to the client.
Okay, that's awesome. That's all. I love how you're doing that. Is that are you seeing opportunities to perhaps adjust your pricing based on that, different type of service? I mean, yes, I think battery powered electric equipment is definitely a lot better, but is it quite as, efficient, or, the production rates as high as maybe gas powered? So are you able to maybe review some of that pricing you're charging clients?
Yeah, I think that's where some of the concern and frustration is the production around using battery equipment is not where, everybody thinks it should be, right? I will speak for the commercial mowing equipment. I can speak fairly confidently that we're getting a full day of production out of the mowing equipment. it's really the handheld blowers and trimmers and things like that the battery life is concerning. And from our experience, obviously, the bigger battery you put on a unit, the heavier it's going to be. So it's a catch-22 on the manufacturing end of how do they get us that longer battery life. And through innovation technology, that's going to happen at some point. In terms of our pricing, we are working with some of clients that are asking for it. And when they're asking for it, we're able to work with them on pricing. And then there's some that we're just making a decision to utilize the equipment. And also, just like out west, we are getting faced with a lot of government regulations on mandates in our local municipalities banning the use of gas equipment.
Right.
And so, Uncle Sam has gotten involved and has pushed us to do that as well.
Right. That makes sense. Now, I know a lot of this drive is coming from the clients, but at the same time, ELM is obviously very passionate about becoming sustainable. How does that then play into your need to join organizations or get certified with people like the American Green Zone Alliance or other similar associations out there, either to improve your knowledge or to just get that rubber stamp on something that you're passionate and qualified in?
Yeah, I think, as I said, I mean, innovation is very important to us. And I think, we have to remain ahead of the curve because, as if we're not, riding the wave, the wave is going to crash on us. And so we always want to be ahead of that wave. And through industry associations, I think it was most recently probably at the NALP Elevate, we were introduced to the American Green Zone Alliance. And, we thought that would be a great association to be aligned with to, get some of our people certified and knowing that, this equipment and this type of, how we operate utilizing battery equipment is coming, and it's coming at us quick, and we need to be ready for it. We need to be trained for it. And so we have made a commitment to become certified with them. And we've got some of our management team either in the process of becoming certified or already certified with them. It's just so we have a better understanding of how to utilize it and best practices.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Obviously you're clearly innovative, but that must tie in somehow to, growing as a company, and that growth could be either being attractive to other clients because you are so innovative. You look at a battery power, you're becoming certified in different associations, but it also must be helping, obviously to fuel that growth, you need good employees, maybe millennials, Gen Z, whatever that demographics is, to be able to buy into that vision. Is that all tying together just for that growth journey?
Yeah, I think, something that's really complemented our growth and has, allowed us to, maintain, retain, and continue our strategic growth is our team. And I think, our team is very passionate about innovation, sustainability, and they really grasp the idea of like, hey, we need to try something different. And, we need to be able to adapt, and we need to be the leader of the pack in making sure that, we're providing our customers with, the latest and greatest, and being proactive with them, giving them new ideas and products that, their business and their properties can benefit from. So to your point, from attracting a newer, workforce and the younger generation, it's exciting to them. We've experienced with autonomous mowers, right? And, we've had positions in our company that, of being an autonomous technician, right? And so, one of my real visions is, as we see the progression of autonomous mowing, we're going to have positions out there that people are going to be responsible for robots, maintaining them, being out on job sites, making sure that they're operating how they're supposed to be operating. And, it's not going to be the typical operating a mower, pulling weeds, pruning shrubs, our basic maintenance that we're all used to. It's going to create opportunities for the younger generation to get involved with our industry and utilize technology at the same time. And that's, that's exciting.
Yeah, that's super cool. I mean, I have a vision in my head, a picture in my head of, a young, professional who are sitting in their truck, maybe on a job site, operating different robots and their smart controller and all the different technology aspects of the landscaping, which I would imagine, Bruce, back in the day when you got into the family business, that was never even on your mind.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. I was coming in right when emails were were starting, but it's yeah. You're exactly right. I think we're going to be at a point in the next coming years where we have people showing up with an iPad, right?
Mm.
And they're controlling the irrigation, they're controlling the robot, and they're maintaining parts of the property with an iPad.
Yeah, so cool, so cool. Talking about family, I know ELM turns 50 in 2 years. Talk to me about milestones. I mean, 50 years is tremendous, and obviously you've jumped into your dad's footsteps and grown the company, brought in new ideas. I mean, what does it look like in the next 2, 5, 10 years?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the most things I'm passionate about, in what I do in our business. I'm grateful for, my father, Bruce, starting the business 48 years ago, right? And ever since I was a kid, being alongside him, learning the business, it was always something that I wanted to do. I've like, as I said, I never did anything else. And so to be, where we are as a company today, makes me super proud. I've had a vision since I was young to be at a certain level and not necessarily a revenue goal, right? We're not always working to be the biggest company out in the country and in the world. We strive to be the best. And, we're constantly, as I said, looking to innovate. We're constantly training and we're bringing on people who share those same values that we can, again, give that value to the end user, which is our client. And so getting to 50 years is pretty cool. I think thinking about that and thinking about our industry, that puts us in a category that not a lot of companies in the landscape industry have. And what excites me every day is giving our people opportunities to continue to grow. I want to just continue growing the business for years to come, as much as I've got that fire in my belly to do that. And seeing some of our longtime employees, seeing the business from what it was to what it is now, and to seeing what the opportunities are in the future is just crazy cool to me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So talk about opportunities. I mean, you talked about your employees, but I mean, if being in the business 40, 50 years is tremendous. What would be your biggest message to just some of those newer companies? Maybe they're 2 to 5 years old, somewhere in that range. They're still trying to get themselves out the weeds. They're still trying to feel their way through navigating the business. What would be your biggest message to them?
Yeah, I'd say from personal experience, aligning yourself with other peers, whether they're industry peers or, local peers that are business owners, something that, I'll never forget. And I use, a lot of things that I've learned over the years from, associations like NALP, Wilson 360, being a part of a peer group, having industry consultants, come in, identify issues in the company that need to be corrected, and helping you come up with those solutions. I'll, never forget those days when I was younger in the industry, having Bruce Wilson and even Tom Euler come in and literally ride around in the truck with me. And just, I would look forward to those times, and they would actually be out in the field helping me, run crews and manage crews and talk to clients. And, I was very fortunate to be connected with a lot of people in the industry that taught me some great techniques and skills. And so, my recommendation is to do the same, right? Is to align yourself with a mentor and a peer that's going to push you, right? And hold you accountable, but also, give you some motivation to accomplish your goals.
That's awesome. Yep, awesome. Yep, I agree 100%. I had them back in the day when I had my business, and yeah, it was intimidating because they usually
Right.
told you things you didn't want to necessarily hear. But it was for your benefit. It was for your business benefit. So, Bruce, this has been tremendous. If people want to reach out to you just to pick your brains, just get some ideas, whether it be about battery, whether it be about sustainability, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, they can absolutely give us a call, give me a call at our office, or shoot me an email. I don't know on here if you can put my information up or figure out a way to get a hold of me, but I'm more than happy to talk to anybody about any of those items or anything else that they want to chat about. I'm
Yeah.
definitely an open door and welcome the opportunity to talk to anybody.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and we'll put your information up, and obviously you're connectable through LinkedIn as well. So,
Yeah,
Bruce, it's been awesome. It's been some great information here. You've shared some great nuggets. Glad we finally got you on, and you were awesome today. So, thank you very much,
absolutely.
Bruce.
Absolutely, Robert. Thank you so much. Been a pleasure.
Okay, cheers. Hopefully that was pure, dead brilliant for you today, and you got some great takeaways for your business or your leadership role. This is Robert Clickybeard. We'd love to get you and your friends to join us in our future journey. So please subscribe to our various podcast channels or visit thecommerciallandscaper.com or wilson360.com. Love you to join you there. We have our new 360 Plus community program we'd love you to sign up for. It's on the far right-hand side of our website. Thanks again for our partner, Weathermatic, and I encourage you to reach out to them. Have a pure, dead, brilliant day. Cheers, everyone.